Shall we fake an orgasm?
Yeah.
It's really hard to do.
It's really hard.
Yeah. Sometimes if it's really good, a little like, oh fuck, comes out.
Yes!
And that's right, yeah.
Yeah! Oh fuck!
Oh fuck. And your like knees go weak, you're like,
I say that too sometimes.
and it's like really breathy, so
Yeah. Really long time ago, we made a video for Orgasm School, which did pretty well.
Yeah.
And it was all about what does an orgasm feel like.
yeah, so we are rehashing that video and bringing it to you again. Because it's important to know what an orgasm feels like, especially when you haven't had one. And you're like, have I had one? Haven't I had one? I don't really know what to feel or expect.
Yeah.
So we are there with you. We've all been in that place. Like,
I think when we recorded this, you hadn't had a G-spot orgasm before as well.
oh my god, fuck. That's
it was
crazy.
a long time ago.
That must have been like years ago.
And also, I remember the first time that I orgasmed, I didn't quite believe it was an orgasm because I was like, I've heard about these being like these really big, amazing things, but obviously when you're masturbating, they're not as extraordinary.
I don't know, man.
It depends.
It was like, I wasn't sure if I had come or not because I'd had waves of pleasure.
Yeah.
And that can be easily mistaken for an orgasm.
Yes.
But I know when I had an orgasm, I didn't think it was an orgasm, but I was like, whoa, must be what I've been masturbating for.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't know it was an orgasm.
I knew that I'd been like pleasuring myself and I reached the point where I felt like a climax and that I didn't want to do it again. Like, didn't want to continue afterwards.
Yeah.
And
I
could feel like the little crampy, like, not crampy, like the...
muscles twitching.
Yeah, muscles twitching. And I was just like, huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I tried to do it again. I think immediately after I had an orgasm, but you soon realise that you just can't. You're like, whoa, it's too sensitive. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, definitely. And also, orgasms have changed for me throughout the years as well. Like,
they do change.
That when I was first started masturbating when I was younger, when I was a teenager, they weren't that big. They were quite small.
Mine was this, I feel like mine's the opposite. Mine were
Really?
like massive when I was a kid, and now I'm like,
Oh.
it's like they're not that strong.
So-
It must be to do with like how horny you are.
Definitely. And then also like what you're using, your techniques, because obviously I used to use my fingers. I used to get quite like worn out. Like I was just like,
Oh my god, the
achy
arm ache.
hands.
Oh my god.
And then I don't think, and because of that, I think it made the orgasm less because you're like conscious of like the aches.
I was just actually comparing my arms, see if I have like one bigger masturbated arm than the other.
With toys, it's a completely different thing as well.
Yeah, it's like a whole new
feel
ballgame.
different, and they feel different with a partner. Like every orgasm
So
feels
true.
different, and there's obviously loads of different types of orgasms, and they all feel different.
Mm-hmm.
It's a minefield. So how the hell are you supposed to know when you've had an orgasm?
Yeah, how? No one fucking tells you. Thanks, school. Thanks, parents. Could you imagine our parents trying to tell us what an orgasm felt like?
So you'll know when you have an orgasm when you feel like this.
My dad being like, oh fuck.
You know what though? I think all orgasms have things in common though.
Oh yeah.
So you can tell that they're all orgasmic states. And that will be this like sort of fluctuating pleasure that makes your genitals twitch, basically.
Yeah. Be all and end all, it is a climax. You are pleasuring yourself. You are reaching a higher and higher point until you get to this point where you do... It's almost like a release. It's like an explosion. Some people feel it, or some people explain it as like all the blood has, you know, in that time, it's all rushed to your genitals, and then it's just completely released. We are mainly talking about female orgasm here because we are women.
Yes.
But a
it's
male...
hard to comment on male orgasm.
Well, yeah.
Really.
I mean, a male orgasm most of the time is when semen comes out.
Yeah.
Not always. You can still have an orgasm without semen.
Yeah.
So it's harder for women to pick on that because we don't have like the visuals in front of us to see, to know that we've had an orgasm.
Yeah, definitely. Although some women do squirt, but then also people say that the squirt isn't necessarily the orgasm.
Yeah, it's just another type of pleasurable release.
Yes, exactly. So this is actually a massive minefield.
It is. There is so much pleasure there, and it's like, how do you put pleasure in a box? You can't really do that. The only way you can describe an actual orgasm is when you get that finale and your
Yeah.
vaginal muscles
But then
twitch.
also,
and-
you don't always want to stop after having an orgasm. Like, sometimes you want to continue, and that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you haven't orgasmed yet, because multiple orgasms exist.
Oh yeah, and they're good. They're fun.
Oh god, they're good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
they
you
get
just
addictive.
don't want to stop.
Yeah, you're like, keep on.
Especially when
going.
I'm masturbating. I just like, I get addicted to the orgasm. I'm just like, orgasm after orgasm after orgasm.
Yeah, that I feel like only comes later in life. We've only really been able to unlock that in our sort of like late 20s.
Yeah.
I definitely couldn't do that before. Like, it was way too sensitive.
Yeah, and also I feel like that's only something for me when I'm using toys. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I could make myself orgasm over and over if I was just using fingers.
Oh my god, you get so tired.
You know what I have done whilst masturbating before is that I've come to an orgasm with a toy, and I'm like really sensitive, but I want to orgasm again. So I have like a small like encore orgasm with my hand.
Oh!
I just like rub it like, and have like just to get like the last little bit of energy out.
So we are mainly talking about clitoral
Clitoral orgasms.
clitoral orgasms, because they are most likely the first one that you're going to have.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Because it's easier for us to get to. Like, G-spot internal orgasms are like quite hard to manage.
I don't think I would ever be able to give myself a G-spot orgasm, even with a toy.
Oh, I've done it with a toy.
Have you?
Yeah, but it's so hard with your fingers.
I think it's really hard to get.
It's just a hard angle. You need someone else there kind of helping you out.
You do.
Clitoral, again, you're playing with your clitoris, and this doesn't have to be what I used to think, like on the actual clitoris itself. You've got the clitoris that's surrounded by a hood, which is like skin. You've got other skin going on over there, and I could never just come if I was playing with that being directly. Apart from sometimes I've like experimented with makeup brushes and stuff, and that's quite nice, but it just gets too sensitive. You kind of have to like massage the area around the clitoris for you to reach that orgasm. Like, what does a clitoral orgasm feel like for you?
Feels like a very directly intense pleasure. Yeah, it kind of feels like the blood is like rushing to your clit.
Like as you're like getting ready to climax.
Yeah, and it is so hard to explain. It's like probably one of the hardest things to explain.
Well, it's like, how do you explain pleasure?
Impossible. It's like a tingly, warm... It's like a tingly, warm sensation that like builds and builds and builds and builds and builds.
Yeah.
Until your actual vagina muscles start like constricting.
Yeah, I always feel like it feels like my vagina's like trying to suck in.
Yes.
Like, suck something in, like, please give me more, give me more. I always find that it is, yeah, you're right, it's very pinpointed. It's all down in your vagina, in your genitals. But then you kind of get these waves that go over you of like hot and heat and kind of pleasure, which can feel like quite uncomfortable or scary if you don't associate them with pleasure. You don't know what the fuck's going on. You're a bit like... bit overwhelmed. But like, learn to love that feeling. I get like tingly in my feet, maybe in like my other limbs, where the blood is being sucked away from and going to your vagina.
That's so true. I think also for me, clitorally, it's more centered, like around that area. Like, I feel less pleasure in other parts of my body when I'm having a clitoral orgasm.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Whereas, like, if I was having a G-spot orgasm, it's more like...
Oh yeah, it's definitely more
enveloped around the body.
I'm trying to think, like, sometimes, like, you know, my nipples get really hard as well when I'm feeling like an orgasm. Actually, I think all the time.
Yeah.
And like, I really notice my nipples more. I'm trying to think all the other sensations. I can feel it like deep in my vagina the closer I get.
Yeah, you can feel it. It is like a sucking in feeling.
Yeah,
it's like a... Ugh. I don't know, like
a
it really
grunt.
is...
Like, it's like basically beckoning some kind of dick in.
Yeah, because you're just... oh my god, it wants it so bad.
It's so bad, yeah. I mean, I come way easier when I've got something inside of me.
Oh my god, me too.
Yeah. But even if, you know, not fucking me necessarily, just like sitting in there.
It feels better as well. Like, the orgasm, even if it's just a clitoral orgasm, the orgasm's better and greater if there's something inside.
Yeah, that is so true. For us, anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, when the actual orgasm comes over, you do feel like a wash, like a wave come over you. And sometimes, like, I can feel it in my bum as well. Like, I can feel my anus twitching and like enjoying, got like a whole thing going on. You do tend to sweat as well, especially if you've been masturbating for ages. I used to sweat so much, but then I'd have like hour-long
I can
sessions.
definitely have short orgasms though without sweating.
Yeah. I think it's like having your heart rate up that much.
Yeah. Oh, that's what also happens when you're orgasming. Your heart starts racing.
Yeah, sometimes I get palpitations as well.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, calm down, heart.
And
You're
then
right.
Yeah, afterwards you're like, you can just sort of hear your like heart sort of getting slower and slower.
Yeah, it's like your breathing gets faster.
Like, I feel like the orgasm that you're explaining is quite like an intense one. You can have orgasms that don't make you feel all these ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're just a little bit more like a pew.
This is like all the...
Like, I don't know, like a short release.
Yeah, then I feel like it's like a short build-up. Actually,
Yeah.
well, but then again, maybe not. Maybe you've been doing it for ages.
Yeah, the G-spot, you kind of need penetration for it.
Yeah, well, to get the G-spot, yeah, you need some kind of penetration from something.
Yeah, because your G-spot's inside.
Whether or not that's a dick, a strap-on, a toy, your fingers, somebody else's fingers.
Yeah.
But that's a very complicated one. And I feel like a lot of people can have that without realising, because you're expecting the clitoral orgasm to happen.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as intense.
Yeah.
But it feels...
Excuse me.
I prefer the G-spot orgasm because it feels more...
In it.
I wonder if we could even hear it. It's a beeping ban. Yeah, I prefer the G-spot orgasm because it feels more like it takes over your whole body, and I feel like it's a little bit more of an intense feeling.
Wait, did you say you prefer the G-spot orgasm?
Yeah.
That's been a new thing.
Well, I like having a clitoral orgasm, but like when I have a G-spot orgasm, it's like hallelujah. It's like a hallelujah moment.
Especially because it's basically you've been given it by somebody else, and that's what's quite nice about it. It's like a very different type of intense. Like clitoral is very much like a build, climax, and an end, unless you go for multiple. But then G-spot is like suddenly like you're here, and you kind of don't know where it starts and where it finishes.
You could really go on for a long time with the G-spot orgasm.
Yeah. You could just keep having it. It's like extreme pleasure, just like constantly, and you're a bit like, is that an orgasm? Is it not? And it's a bit more full body.
There's probably like a bit less constricting, contracting.
Yeah, I would say there's probably no constricting.
Yeah,
contracting. It's really hard to tell.
There must be some. I think maybe instead of like those kind of like little flickers of spasms, it would be more of like a general tightness.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you're
the
just
vagina's like gripping, like sucking in, like
gripping the dick or the strap
fucking
on the toy.
like Hoover style.
Yeah, I never really thought of it like that. There is hardly as many constrictions. There might be some, but it's just not the same.
Yeah, or we just can't tell because we're having a G-spot orgasm. We're just like.
Yeah, you're kind of like on another plane, I feel like, when you're having a G-spot orgasm.
Yeah.
Like, it's another level of pleasure.
I didn't start having those until probably about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So what, like, that's 20, how old am I?
29.
So it's about 25.
That's so normal though, because G-spot orgasms are really hard to find. But basically, orgasms can feel different for everyone, but they all have this general feeling.
Yeah, it's the same with like nipple orgasms. I feel like that feels very much like a G-spot orgasm. It's all over, all body.
Yeah, although my vagina's like twitching more.
It's been a while since I've experienced that.
I mean, I haven't had a nipple orgasm for ages, but if someone sucks my nipples, my vagina starts going, hi.
But is it doing like the, I'm coming, or is it going like, oh my god, this is good?
Yeah.
Oh my
god.
Yeah. You're like, it's basically the suck. It's the dick suck. It's like give me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me more.
And there are other types of orgasms that we haven't spoken about. Like, again, male orgasms, you've got prostate orgasms, anal orgasms for both men and women.
We need to get a guy on here to explain the male orgasms.
Yeah, that would be really good. I forgot to talk about fucking shuddering. Like, I don't just sit there.
Oh, fuck.
We, like,
shuddering.
We shudder and, like, we move and, like, we jolt around and go crazy.
Oh my god, I get the shudders a lot.
Yeah.
Especially with clitoral orgasms.
Yeah. And you're like...
Yeah, like a...
It's almost like bucking bronco. Yep. So So yeah, I hope that's helped answer what an orgasm is. It's not like that for everybody. This is just our experiences.
Yes.
And if we've missed anything, please put them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.
Write to us. Give us a huge thumbs up if you liked it, and remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can
baby.
watch our videos every single week.
Check out our podcast Fucks Given, as well as add us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Because we need you. We love your followers. Wait, love your followers.
We love
I love your followers. Yeah, not you,
We
but
love
your followers.
you, the Curious Fuckers Club.
Yeah, baby. Then we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.